everybody, to another postseason interview. My name's Nightfire with 2 E's, and today I am joined by the Velocity Esports squad here just beneath me. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Congratulations on locking in your win and advancement into the semifinals. I want to start with asking you, to reflect on this weekend, right, and kind of think about the matchups that you went into. And I guess, hold on. I want to start with first your introductions, getting to know who we have here on the desk for the interview. And Johan, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm Johan. I am the captain of the team, but I'm pretty washed and not to play that much anymore. But I'm still here for the free money.
Free? Well, you still have to earn it in the semis, I suppose. But Void, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm Void, and my specialty is shoot people in the head.
A good specialty in this game. Ran6, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, man. I'm also like Void. I shoot people in the head, but I hold an angle for like 2 minutes to shoot people in the head. That's like rank watch, basically.
Discipline is what you're saying. You have the
Yes,
discipline.
sir. I hope.
Fuse, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, hello, I'm Fuse.
First question of the afternoon, and I'll direct it to you, Johan. How are you feeling going into your first matchup last weekend? The only matchup I suppose you had against was TJFC. Yeah, how are you feeling going into that?
Yeah, we were feeling like quite alright. We felt like we would win that, but looking back at season day, we're like the closest game to ours. Like with our 1-12 record, there was only one team we lost to, and they weren't in the tourney anymore. So that was the closest one of the teams that were left that we had during the season. So we thought this might be a close one, but we thought we would get on top, and that's showed also by the match.
Yeah, for sure. Void, how are you feeling? Was there any jitters, any nerves, anything like that before you got into that first matchup?
No, not really. I mean, the quarterfinals was my first ever official game, but apart from that, I'm feeling very, very confident, and I'm ready for it.
Awesome. Ran6, how are you doing in that game? Is there any point during that series against TJFC where you felt like you had to kind of step it up, or were you confident the whole way through?
Main problem with me was my aim wasn't on par as I hoped it would be. I fixed the problem now. I know what went wrong. I know what I did wrong, but I wasn't playing the best that I wish I could. But at least we had teammates that can carry me. So thank you, everyone.
Fuse, I mean, you were there, you were playing. How are you feeling in that matchup? Were you nervous at any point, or was there any shaking in the hands when you were aiming that disrupted shots, anything like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, at the start you get a bit shaky, just get cautious about what you're trying to do, throw anything. But yeah, once you start to play a bit, you settle in quite a bit and a few kills.
Awesome. Again, it was a spectacular matchup to tune into. At any point, Johan, was there a point that you felt like you kind of had this match secured, like the momentum was in your favor and you were going to actually advance on to the semis?
Yeah, I mean, as a spectator, I was kind of nervous of the first 2 games there, but when we had this good start on chip, I felt like we would carry this momentum to get this win and follow of course, the script, getting close match,
Yeah, it
But
really
yeah,
was. I mean, we were surprised on the desk to have that as close as it was. Were you, Void, Ran, were you guys surprised that TJFC did as well as they did against you?
Want to answer first?
Yeah, actually, very surprised.
Me personally, I wasn't surprised at all, because these guys, although they might look bad, like from the shallow end, because they had the minimum amount of matches to play.
Yeah, looking at the stats. Yeah, yeah.
They seemed new, but they're not new at all. Lots of them have been in previous teams before. Like even some teammates have been playing during Alpha, and what lots of people think is that TJFC is bad, but they're not bad. Every time we would scrim them, we would draw. Like they were extremely underestimated. People thought they were the underdogs, but no. Like me personally, I was not expecting that to be an easy game for us. Very close. as it turned out, as the script turned out.
Yeah, it certainly was close. Had to check off all the boxes of the script that afternoon. Fuse, going into this weekend, do you feel like there's anything your team needs to improve on after that matchup, or are you feeling confident now with the semifinals and the finals ahead of you?
I think we need to work on pulling our weight more. I mean, Hickman, even though he is now banned, did pull quite a bit of weight in the quarterfinals. So yeah, just learning on trying to win your ones, and I think that's probably the main part about the team, was just winning ones.
Johan, as you do prepare for this postseason, you focus on winning the ones. What are you as a team captain kind of focusing on? Or you have scrims prepared, or are you relaxing? Doing VOD reviews. What's sort of the schedule for the next few days?
Yeah, it's basically just scrim as much as possible these last few days, like trying to get the team that will be playing in these semifinals and finals to get their connection together and make sure that we can be as best as we can with our skills.
Are you guys confident? Who are you kind of keeping the eye out for? Obviously, you have your semis match first. Is that kind of the main focus, and then you'll have to do what you have to do on Sunday?
Yeah, I would say so. Basically, like we're focusing on one game at a time. First we need to get any further. We need to get this semifinals. Even if we lose that, sure, we have the third place, but we, of course, in our mindset, we always have to win this semifinals, especially with everything that's going around. Yeah, and then we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, well, hey, I wish you guys the best of luck for your upcoming matchup this weekend. If you're tuning in, it's maybe going to be happening in a few minutes, so stick around and get ready for more of the VRML postseason, the semifinals, the finals. And a shout out to the Velocity Esports squad for tuning in. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the battlefield.
Back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML. I'm your host, Gibular Bob. With me today, I've got my co-caster, Filibust, and analyst, Fallen. And look at this, we're here in the EU semifinals, first match of the day. We'll start with you, Phil. How you feeling?
I am so hyped, down to the last 4 teams here in the EU bracket. So stoked to see which 2 teams are going to walk away today and be heading into the grand finals tomorrow. All-time hype.
Absolutely. And Fallen, how about you? You ready for these matches we're about to get into here?
Oh, I am looking forward to it. Some of the best EU teams going against each other, battling out for that grand prize up there. So,
100%. And if you weren't here with us last week, or if you'd like to catch up, last weekend we had the EU quarterfinals. We also had the NA quarterfinals. And it was quite the matchup here. We had a plethora of matches. We had Velocity versus TJFC, Monkey Forge versus .com, Blaze EU versus Underdogs, and Cheeky Breachy versus French Resistance. A couple of close games there, most notably Velocity Esports beating TJFC just by 1 point. It was one of the closest games of the EU bracket there, and ultimately it resulted in Velocity Esports moving on to the next round. The match we're about to get into is .com versus Velocity Esports. Now, Fallen, you were here. I mean, what do you think was your highlight game of that EU quarterfinals?
yeah, mine was definitely the Velocity in TGFC.
Right.
It was just so close, and there's a big spectrum, and it was very fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And Phil, how about you?
I actually haven't had a chance to get back and check out the EU quarterfinals yet. I haven't even seen the other NA matches that I wasn't casting, so I got some catching up to do. As soon as the finals is over, I'll go back and rewatch everything.
Yeah, we've got a pretty exciting set of matches this coming weekend. Today are going to be the EU and NA semifinals. So right now we've got Velocity versus .com in a few hours. Nightfire will be hosting Blaze EU versus Cheeky Breachy. Those will be the EU semifinals, and then afterwards we will have the NA semifinals this afternoon. That's going to be Acer versus Eternity and Wicked versus Formula 3. They're going to move on tomorrow, and we will have a third place. We'll have the EU finals and third place in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we'll have the NA third place match, and then the grand finals in the evening. So a lot of exciting content to come up here. Of course, let's take a look at that EU bracket one more time. Again, like I said, semifinals come down to VelocityEsports.com, and the semifinals will be Blaze EU, Cheeky Breachy. The winners of those will move on to the third match, which is the grand finals, and the losers are going to play in the third place match. So grand finals, third place again, taking place tomorrow, the 21st of January, and the semifinals will be happening today for both EU and NA. And of course, I guess while we're here, let's talk about some predictions that we have here. We'll start with Phil. Who do you think is going to walk forward, win the semifinal? Who's going to win what semifinal? Who's going to move on to the finals?
Ooh, can I predict for the NA side? Because I know those. I actually know those teams. This is up in the air. I'm gonna say I don't know. Actually, it'd be a coin flip for me. I can't be biased right now. I gotta stay non-biased for the cast.
yeah, no big deal there. Fallen, how about you?
I mean, I don't really know, to be fair. I'm kind of just waiting to see how it goes. I don't really know what to say about it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. As far as predictions would go on my end, I think Velocity, I don't know. I think they were a pretty dominant team all season in the EU, but it got very close with TJFC. So I don't know. I think maybe .com might pull ahead of this one. They've played very well. They've got very close to beating Velocity before. If we actually go back over to our matchup page, we can see that the previous encounter between .com and Velocity was a Velocity win, 15-13. So it was very, very close. Velocity nearly pulled ahead, but it didn't, Velocity did pull ahead. .com just barely fell out of that one. But I mean, taking a look even at the data, we got 5-4-3 from .com. Velocity Esports 12-1. So you definitely see those dominant stats coming in from Velocity.com. They haven't had as much success as Velocity Esports this season, but they are still a diamond ranked team, and they are very, very lethal. So I think if TGFC can put up a good fight against Velocity Esports, then .com certainly might be able to also put up a good fight against them. And taking a look at Blaze EU versus Cheeky Breachy, both two very, very solid teams there. I want to say maybe Blaze EU. They're number 2 in the EU right now, so they are a very, very lethal team there. So I think my prediction may go with them moving into the grand finals. I think it's going to come down to .com, Blaze EU, but Velocity, very, very dominant team, so it could happen. And then as far as a third place match, if it came down to Cheeky Breachy and Velocity, I'd probably say Velocity. It's a bit of a wayward, prediction, not going with Velocity winning there, but going off of the quarterfinals last weekend for NA, it's definitely, with the amount of upsets we saw there, it could definitely happen. Velocity exiting this tournament early, but we'll see what happens there. If it does get down to a third place match between Cheeky Breachy and .com, we'll start with you, Phil. Who do you think is going to win there?
Ooh, again, it would be a toss-up. I mean, once you get these teams that are up in the master tier, they're just, everybody has so much talent that it's possible for one team to be a little bit off and another team to absolutely have all 5 players show up and be on top of their game and just knock it out of the park. So hopefully we're in for some exciting matches today for sure. I mean, all these master tier teams have some talent, and I'm excited to see what tricks the EU players have up their sleeves.
Yeah, definitely. Fallen, if you had to make the call there, if it came down to Cheeky Breachy and Velocity, who do you think would take third place there?
Ooh, Cheeky Breachy for Velocity. I'm gonna go with Velocity on that one. I just feel like they've got that, they're top in the table. They're, one of the best teams in EU, and I think that they are just a better team in general.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, I've eaten my words plenty of times before here on this channel. So Cheeky Breachy, definitely a team that can make it to the grand finals. Blaze EU can make. I mean, they can all make it to the grand finals. Nobody here is weaker than the next. But yeah, it should be very, very interesting. And again, if we break out the data here for this matchup that we'll see the best map for Velocity is going to be Hideout. Look at this, 125 rounds played on Hideout. .com has 107. Only the difference is Velocity, 69% of their rounds they played, they've won. .com, Hideout's not their best map. It's 48%, actually their lowest rated map. But yeah, I mean, it should be very, very interesting here. I don't know who's the pick ban right now, which map was banned, but let's ask some questions here. I mean, Phil, if you're Velocity, your best map is Factory, then Ship, then Skyscraper, then Hideout, or excuse me, that's .com. And Velocity, their best map is Hideout, then Factory, then Ship, then Skyscraper. Do you think we're going to see Factory because both teams play pretty well on those?
I think Factory. I actually think Hideout is also likely, based on the number of rounds played each team has. It seems like a comfort pick for both teams, even though statistically for .com it may not be on top of their list. They've got the experience on there, so I just doubt that would be the choice for the ban for either team. But yes, Factory and Hideout, I'd say, are 2 maps that are almost guaranteed to see today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fallen, if you were in these teams' shoes, which map would you go for?
I completely agree. I think it's definitely going to be Hideout as the comfort, the comfort one for both teams, the one that they've both got the most rounds on. They probably know pretty comfortably, and that they're just going to play, their top game on.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it should be again very, very interesting matchup. And real quick, while we're here, let's give a big thank you to our sponsors that make the VRML happen. Starting off with Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers. If you're just getting in here, you don't even know what Breachers is. It's a VR tactical first-person shooter. Their developers, Triangle Factory, are contributing a very, very nice sum to our prize pool. So big thank you to Triangle Factory. Next up, we do want to thank Exclaim, the official merch store for the VRML, which offers a variety of VRML merch. Plus, you can actually make your own team's merch through Exclaim, and you can tap into a whole new level of fan engagement that way. So if you're interested in an exclusive store-wide discount while supporting the league, consider affiliating with the VRML via Exclaim. Next up is Protube VR. If we had Phil on cam, it wasn't working. Some technical difficulties there, but he would show you he's got one of these Protube VR stocks, and Protube VR provides the best VR rifle mounts and accessories. And you can help stabilize your aim in-game by picking up a MagTube stock, or you can put your controllers into cups that magnetically connect to a fully adjustable stock. With a variety of products ranging from Beat Saber to joystick mounts, Protube VR is your one-stop shop for controller peripherals. Next up is HyperX, and you can get 15% off MRSP off of fully priced HyperX products in North America using code HXVRML23. They also supply the prize pool with some overall HyperX products, very, very high quality. And actually, make sure you're tuning in to the NA broadcasts, because if you are in the NA region, you may actually be eligible to enter a giveaway for some HyperX headsets. We're giving away, I think, one today, one tomorrow. But yeah, catch that later, and you may actually win a headset there. Next up, Helga, the Esports Manager bot. Let me ask you something. Are you tired of juggling schedules, stats, and communication for your esports team? Well, say hello to Helga, the Esports Team Management bot, which helps with just that. I'm talking about availability, scheduling, communication with opponents, and statistical analysis. I actually saw they were just releasing a KD update. So yeah, very big thank you to Helga, the Manager bot. And if you want to get started with that, you can join their Discord linked in the chat or on the VRML Breachers/Onward website. And of course, big thanks to Helga, the Manager bot, because the winning teams or the top 3 teams will be getting a very nice subscription to that. And finally, VRCOVER, for offering high quality, hygiene, and comfort solutions for popular headsets. VRCOVER's face cushions greatly enhance the comfort of any VR device, allowing you to play in VR comfortably for longer. Use code VRCOVERQ3 for a discount on Quest 3 products. That's going to wrap it up for our sponsors, but I mean, we still have a couple of minutes here. So yeah, getting back into this .com Velocity match, we've got a very solid roster from both teams here. Talking in the interview, we learned they were all practicing, getting ready for these teams. They were scrimming and getting a lot of that practice. And I mean, walk us through this, Phil. If you were in these teams' positions, how would you be preparing for these upcoming matches?
Well, it's actually an interesting topic, because you got to kind of balance your hype levels, right? Like if you are overhyped, you can quickly burn through what energy do you have. So if you're feeling super excited and nervous, the answer is probably listen to some super chill music and kind of relax and save that energy for the actual match. Meanwhile, if you're half falling asleep and you're bored, this is going to be a walk in the park, maybe you should pump it up with some heavy rock and kind of get your adrenaline pumping a little bit and get your clocks rotated a little bit quicker. But yeah, man, just be dialed, be ready to dial in and have a good time.
It's interesting because I think the teams that I've seen that have taken the finals in more of a nonchalant approach have actually exited the tournament early, which Yeah, I mean, again, if you're not in the right mindset, if you're walking into it thinking it's either going to be too hard, too easy, you're getting in your own head there. But I mean, Fallen, how would you approach this? If you're heading into the finals, how would you practice for it?
Oh God, just honestly, the words I'd keep telling myself is keep your head on, keep your heart in your chest. You don't want to be too nervous, but you don't want to be too excited, because if you're too excited, your aim will be shaky, things like that. But if you're too nervous, you'll be worried to do things. Your listening will be off. So you just need to keep in that mindset, as Phil said, where you're not overly pumped, but you're not, down in the dumps at the same time.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it will be a very, very close matchup again, number 1 to number 6. And, .com has definitely put in a lot of work this season. So has Velocity. I mean, they're 12-1. They haven't lost. They've only lost once to IVI, who are no longer in the league right now. So, I mean, statistically speaking, it would be a Velocity win going off of pure data. And they're a very, very strong team, a blend of... Well, I think it's a rebrand of VRF and Revolt. They kind of mashed together, and I think they did pick up 1 or 2 VRF players, which is a team that disbanded earlier towards the season. But yeah, they have a very, very solid lineup here. They've always been great in the interviews, and they're very, very ready to look for this win today. And it's coming up in just a few short minutes. It's going to be on the hour, about 15 minutes from now. We're all on different time zones, but it will be very, very soon. And then shortly after this matchup, once again, we will have Nightfire, Filibust, and Finto ready for the Blaze EU versus Cheeky Breachy match. Where actually we've got Phil here this morning, and then he's going to be in the other match, the other EU match, and then he's going to be in NA later today. So we're putting you to work, Phil.
Earning that paycheck this week.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like we are getting down to the end of the pre-show, running down on time here. But that is going to do it here. We're going to cut back to a short break. We'll run the interview for .com, and when we come back, we'll be ready for that matchup between Velocity Esports and .com. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Breachers VRML, everybody. I'm your host, Gibular Bob, and today I'm with .com from the EU, currently heading into the semi-finals. With me today, I have Typical Light, Sea Dragon, Smoked Salmon, Gooblin, and Kitten number 4. How's everybody doing today?
Because previously we have beaten them in scrims and stuff, so I think we were expecting much less of a fight, especially from Mark. He did pretty well, but honestly, it was quite even, especially in Hideout. But then we got the game back on, and we kind of had to, reality check ourselves to get our heads back in that game to win that game.
Well, I think we've beaten the Fastest Forge, Monkey Forge, whatever you want to call them, sort of 7-0, 7-1, 7-2 in the past, sort of like high scoring games. So I think we all went into it with sort of the mindset that we're gonna win, just by how much. And I think that sort of team positivity that we had paid off really well.
Awesome. Okay, so what was the most challenging part of the series against Monkey Forge? You had mentioned Hideout was a little tricky.
Yeah, I think Hideout on that certain game was definitely, once again, kind of a reality check. We didn't expect them to put that much of a fight, but they did, and we were caught off guard by it, but we did manage to pull it back in the end, and we did secure the win. But ultimately, I think getting to this point in the first place has been the most difficult, because obviously you've got issues, you've got people getting ill, connection issues, which honestly in the middle of a game can just be absolutely game-changing and break the balance. But I think we've powered through them enough to where we can get to this point, and I think that was quite challenging in itself.
.com this season, we had a couple of rough spots, nearly disbanding twice. So It's just me and Llama left who can't join us tonight. From the original .com roster at the start of this VRML season.
Wow.
So we used to have a completely different lineup, but just people quitting the game and not finding it fun anymore, they've just sort of backed out. And there was multiple times this season where there was just 3 of us left in .com, but we've brought it back, and now we're sort of doing our best at the moment, I'd say.
Was there a point in the match where you felt like you had the win secured? Was there kind of a turning point where you felt like, yeah, you knew you had this?
Yeah, to be fair, I would say, technically, yeah, it was on the first round of ship, but in the heart, the part where we definitely won is when Sea Dragon started piloting the ship on, I think, round 7. I thought I had confidence in his potential to avoid icebergs and shit. So yeah.
Yeah, but
that time.
But yeah, I think.
Awesome. All right, next question. Is there anything you feel like you need to improve upon heading into the semis this weekend?
Honestly, on Saturday or Sunday, we need to work on our comms in game because when we play, people talk over each other. Mm-hmm. They sometimes get a little bit like frantic, like people are talking over each other. There's like mixed like comms going on.
Sure.
There's like unrelated stuff being like spoken about. And sometimes it messes with us. Sometimes someone will speak at like a wrong time, or like sometimes they'll just give out like the wrong comm. Like I think our communication is what we ultimately need to work on.
Yeah,
I think our gameplay itself is fine. I think.
Yeah, I think we all have good individual gameplay, but we have to work on our teamwork a little bit more. But apart from that, I think
awesome.
Not bad.
Awesome, cool. Okay, so on that note, what are your plans for heading into the semis or the finals? Are you scrimming? You know, how are you working on that communication?
Yeah, well, we are trying to scrim as regularly as we can, as we usually do. But yeah, we're trying to focus on the teamwork and communication aspects in the practices.
Awesome. Anything else to add?
And I think if we can just show them that we can beat them, if we can just show everyone we can actually beat them, then it will really turn the tide for the entire tournament. And I think we can do it, honestly. Yeah. I think we'll be fine.
Definitely. Awesome. Okay, so final question here. Velocity, you've mentioned them. Would you say that they're your biggest competition right now? If not, who do you think your biggest competition will be? Because you've got Velocity still in contention. You've got Blazy, you, Cheeky Breachy. Are you thinking Velocity's the biggest threat right now, or where are you going with that?
Yeah, well, I think they probably are the biggest threat, and after that we'll probably be going against, I assume, Blaze or possibly Cheeky Breachy. So I don't think later in the game it's gonna get too much easier, as obviously Velocity doesn't have many players, so they're a bit weakened at the moment. But yeah, I think it'll be tough, but I think we have a chance.
Yeah, I think with Velocity, like I don't feel that intimidated by them anymore, or like I wouldn't feel as intimidated. Them double drawing to TJFC the other day, it kind of like I guess it wasn't just me, but opened up everyone's eyes, saying like, okay, this is possible. Like TJFC, obviously, like they're still a good team, but Velocity was definitely the one people were turning around and going like, oh man, it's gonna be like a double 7-0, quick and easy.
Yeah, definitely.
Velocity number 1, but no.
Yeah, it was a pretty big shock, but yeah, I mean, love the confidence there, and yeah, if you kind of have that right mindset going into it, you can actually accomplish some pretty impressive things. Now, that is going to do us over here at the VRML. Of course, we do thank .com for coming out here today and agreeing to answer some of these questions, and of course, we do wish you all good luck in the upcoming semis and potentially finals. So yeah, all right, that's going to do it for us here at the VRML. I'm Gibular Bob. This has been .com, and we'll catch you all in the next interview. Have a great night, everybody. back, everybody, to the Breachers VRML. Apologies for a couple of technical difficulties there, but it looks like we are back up and running properly, and hopefully for the rest of the stream here. But we are back with Velocity Esports versus .com, and I'm about to give the teams the signal to start up. But it looks like we are going to start off with .com on the defense and Velocity. .com on the offense, Velocity on the defense. First map is going to be Ship. Let's get some thoughts in here. Phil, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Ship, and which side would you want to start on here?
This is interesting because, Ship would have probably been the map I would have suspected it was most likely to get banned. So I'm glad to see that it isn't. We get to see some Ship action. If it were me, I would say, it's interesting. Ship defensive sided, I think, has an advantage, but because this is such a tense match, and what happens in a lot of these situations is people take a couple of rounds to kind of settle in, and the first few rounds are always a toss-up. You might want to save your defense, your clutch anchor half for the second half of the game when everybody has a chance to get in sync with each other and warmed up and they're playing well as a team. So it might be time to go offense first here.
Yeah, definitely. And Fallen, how about you? Which side would you want to start off here?
Oh, in my opinion, on Ship, defense. All day, I'd rather defense on Ship. It's just a good map to hold your ground, and there's not too much where you can get stuck. So yeah, I'd definitely rather defense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I think with Ship, you get this interesting dilemma because it seems to be a little bit more defense side, at least in my opinion. That, if you don't put in a really, really good defense, then when you switch over to the offense, then the pressure is really, really on. But if you start off on the offense, if you get at least 1 or 2 rounds, I think you'll set yourself up for a pretty good defensive half. But we'll see as we're waiting for everybody to load in and get ready. We've currently got on Velocity Zav the Slav. They had to nerf you. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. Fuse, Void, and Ran 6. And over on .com, Sea Dragon, Kitten number 4, Smoke Salmon, Typical Light, and Mommy Llama DK. That's going to be Llama DK, but changed names for purposes of, I think, joining a new team. But all right, yeah, I've given the teams the message to start up the game, and it looks like we're waiting on one more from Velocity to reconnect. Oh, it looks like
they're server swapping.
They're going to be server swapping. Oh, they voted the banned map. Okay, so it looks like we are going to switch servers for just a second. Shouldn't be.
So it was Ship that was banned.
It was Ship that was banned. Yeah, okay. So that's going to throw the predictions there out the window.
Well, we got to do the whole pregame over now. I think based on what map it is.
Yeah.
It's just going to change. It's going to change,
Yeah. Currently, game's giving me some issues. So let me restart that. But yeah, I mean, if we take a look at the map data here, so it's not going to be Ship. We know that for a fact. But predictions earlier, it looks like it was going to be, the biggest guess here was Hideout. And it definitely could be Hideout. Velocity. Again, they've got the better numbers on Hideout, so to speak. But yeah, .com, as Phil pointed out, it's probably their comfort choice. They've definitely played the most rounds on Hideout. So we'll see if that's it. We're currently waiting for the teams to rejoin, and everybody looks to be getting back in the game here. But it's not Hideout. I don't know. If it's not Hideout, I think my second guess would probably be Factory. What about you, Fallen?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Definitely Factory. Hideout.
Yeah, they definitely got about similar stats on Factory, so it looks like that may be, if it's not going to be Hideout, my guess is going to be Factory, but we shall see. So it looks like, again, Velocity are going to be starting off on the defense. .com on the offense. Hopefully Yeah, we're waiting for everybody to switch sides, unless it's .com on the defense, and I had it right the first time. I don't know. It's been a pretty interesting morning here. Okay. Just waiting on everybody to get to the right side. Okay, Velocity going to be starting off on the offense.com on the defense. All right. So there we go. That's all fixed. And they're now voting for another map. So we're going to count down and see, which map they actually picked here. Speculation was if it's not going to be Hideout, it's going to be Factory. At least that's what I think. But we will see. It looks like we've got everybody in the lobby. So once they get the map selected, it's going to be Hideout. So Phil definitely made the right call there. It looks like we are going to get ready. If everybody in the lobby is good to go, then we're going to get started here. All right.
First match of the day, EU semifinals. Let's get some hype in the chat. If you guys are ready, we are going to be about to get started.
And we're headed
over
to the Hideout. And we're here on Hideout, starting off with Velocity over on the offense.com, running that defense. Interesting eco setups here. I mean, take a look at this, Phil. Velocity running 2 healing syringes. Not something you often see, in the early phases of the game.
I'm so glad to see this, because I've been telling people this is what the meta should be. All the top teams should do this. One person fails to upgrade their pistol, and the chances are that person is going to be able to pick up a pistol off the ground of a dead body anyway. Everybody else has them. So this is the meta. If you're watching this, take notes at home, set it up, have one person on your team on pistol rounds, buy 2 syringes. It's just the way to go.
And here we go into round 1 with Velocity once again on the offense here on Hideout. They had to nerf you, walking along the banister there, dropping down to the gym. Sites are that bottom floor gym and bar. Interestingly enough, Velocity heading up towards the roof. It looks like they've got some of that breaching foam on the wall there as a bait. There it goes. But I'm interested. They may go for, it looks like it's going to be a skylight drop.
Yeah, very interesting way to attack for the basement, coming in from the roof. All 5 members of Team Velocity on the roof here. But maybe they're going to be dropping down towards this garage side. The drone did go in through the front door. It spotted typical light here on this main staircase. So, but they haven't made any other holes. I guess they're just going to blast it in. It's going to be a 5-man death ball rush into the garage.
And here comes They Had to Nerf You with that breaching foam right above the storage hatch. There goes Sea Dragon downstairs by the big stairs, as we see 1:50 left on the clock. Interesting approach from Velocity. They've baited out several walls, but now they're over in kitchen right now. They Had to Nerf You and Fuse both watching that kitchen hatch down into B site, where Mommy Llama DK and kit number 4 back over in the fort. 1.5 left on the clock. Velocity have used a lot of their time in this early round, but we see Zavdislav heading over into storage right now. 1:20 on the clock. Velocity are burning up an awful lot of time here. If they wait too long to push in, it may work out against them. They're not leaving themselves enough time. We see some shots exchanged. They Have to Nerf You, almost picking up some damage, but just barely avoiding that. 1 minute left to go on the clock, and Velocity are still over in storage right now.
Yeah, very indicative. You can tell that the pressure is on. Everybody's being so cautious, not wanting to be the first one to die here on the server. But with the time winding down, 45 seconds, this is it. Velocity is going to have to make their move onto the B, and it's going to be Zavdislav opening things up with the kill onto Mommy Llama. And the pressure is in on this B bomb site. Important to note here, they've used all 3 breaching foams. As the charge comes in, Kitten is going to fall. Smoked Salmon is there for the trade, and he finds a double and evens it up. 3 versus 3 now.
But Fuse gets that EMP planted. However, Sea Dragon finding that kill as it's now a 3 versus 1 with Ran 6, the last member of Velocity, standing right now. But there's not enough time. Smoked Salmon gets the defuse off, as Sea Dragon and Smoked Salmon will both go down to Ran 6, but it was too late. Typical swings out, finds the kill on Ran 6 to give .com their first round here. Fallen, break down that round. What do you think happened to Velocity that cost them that first round there?
I'd love to if Phil would remember to share a screen.
So I think, you know what, an interesting part of that was definitely, it came down to time. In the end there, we had Velocity. They waited. It kind of seemed like they couldn't decide what kind of a push they wanted to do. They started off, on the roof, and then they went down and opened up garage. Then they all dropped down the skylight, pushed into storage. But what we saw there was a great retake from .com. I mean, they got pushed out of the gym. EMP did get planted, but ultimately they did a great job retaking the site, and it really worked out for them there.
They committed really hard to the plant in the 3v3. They wanted to get the plant for the outside, and it worked in the sense they had to sacrifice 2 of their players, and the final remaining player just didn't have time to rotate up through the garage and get set up for the post plant, and so they were able to just sneak the defuse in with 1 remaining member of Velocity still alive. Very unfortunate. The clock coming in hugely to play. I mean, the over patience and the over caution at the beginning of the round ended up costing them towards the end.
Yeah, definitely. As we see the rest of Velocity heading over to the bathroom side, it actually looks like they might try and approach through the small stairs. Yeah, here we go. 4 stacking through there. So get ready to open up that dining room wall. Some shots fired through. 2 round 2 Vesins in the hands of .com. We see frags tossed out 1-2 as Mami Llama DK finds Void, but will be refragged by They Had to Nerf You. Here comes the second breach through the foyer wall as Smoked Salmon will find the kill on Zav the Slav. There's now 2 minutes left on the clock, and it's a 3 versus 4 with .com currently in the player advantage. Smoked Salmon finding the kill on They Had to Nerf You. A double onto Ran 6 as kit number 4 secures the final kill on Fuse there. And I mean, Fallen, break down that round, if you will. I mean, what kind of fell apart there for Velocity?
No, I'm not blind. They went in very quickly, and I think they just got outgunned by the Vezins, and they couldn't, hold their own against assault rifles like that. And .com were quick to turn around, get on that area where Velocity pushed in, and yeah, that was a wrap.
Phil, I mean, do you think they kind of thought they were going to lose?
Yeah, and that's a tough round. Oh, I thought.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, that's a tough round. I mean, I think they had the right idea. It's a tough going up against a couple of Vezins. They had a bit of an explosive strat there, right? Where they popped in the window and tried to blow both of the walls on that A bomb site and put a lot of pressure. And if things had gone their way, they might have got lucky, caught one of those Vezins. Smoked Salmon was in the site by himself with the Vezin for a little bit. So if they had caught him out and got that Vezin over to their hands, that was probably a good chance for them to actually make that round an upset. But things didn't go out that way.
Absolutely. As we get into round 3 here, we see the Vezins coming out from both sides. Velocity haven't bought too much utility. They've got 2 drones and a breaching foam, but I mean, this could hurt them. Excuse me, if they're not careful. We do see some breaching foam on the gym walls. It looks like Velocity have a better push planned this time. Here comes the first drone from Zav the Slav, currently up on the roof. It looks like Velocity getting ready to push into garage right now, where Sea Dragon actually waiting in the kitchen. This may come back to bite Velocity if they don't spot Sea Dragon, who's getting ready to swing out looking for some kills, but does get spotted by that drone. However, Velocity already knows Sea Dragon is in there.
That was interesting. Sea Dragon was actually in a nice spot to kind of duck the drone. It seemed like it was going to maybe not see him, but he decided to get aggressive and peek out and try to sneak a kill past it and catch someone off guard who was following the drone up. Interesting. I like the idea there, but nobody was following up the drone close enough for it to work, unfortunately. And we're having, I'm seeing Velocity pick up the pace. Now that they've got those Vezins in hand, the confidence has definitely stepped up quite a bit. And the pace is picked up. They've taken a lot more map control. They've got Hughes already dropped into the storage room with the EMP. They got full storage control with 1:40 left on the clock. So very different to what we saw on the pistol round. But Kitten is going to find a wallbang kill onto Void from the back of B bomb site.
And there's the breaching foam on that storage wall. There it goes. Kit number 4 waiting in the very back, finding a beautiful headshot there on Fuse. Good momentum here from .com. They've found 2 early picks in this round, both on Void and Fuse, interestingly enough. Both coming from Kit number 4 at that same exact wall. They had to nerf you, finding a very devious shot onto Smoke Salmon. There's Velocity. Look to pivot their strategy, moving over into the gym where Zavdislav dropping typical light. It's now a 3 versus 3 as Velocity are bringing this round back. They don't have the EMP right now. Mommy Llama DK is going to find that kill on They Had to Nerf You. 50 seconds left on the clock. There's no possession of the EMP. It's over in storage. Sea Dragon is currently up in garage right now as Kit number 4 finding the pick on Zavdislav. It's now just down to Rand 6. The last hope for Velocity in this Vezin round. If they lose this, they're going to be caught back on an eco round. But Kit number 4 dropping their 3rd kill this round. And a beautiful, beautiful round from .com there. Fallen, your thoughts?
How they held that room was absolutely brilliant. Didn't let nobody, get past that kind of line of defense with the hatches and all of that. Great spot by the drone at the start, but it didn't pay off as Sea Dragon got out of there quick enough to where, it didn't have an effect, and it ended up working for him later on, and he pushed back in.
Yeah, and again, of course, Kit number 4 finding 2 very early picks. Do you think that had an effect on Velocity in the round?
Yeah, it probably did, as, they were... Numbers mean everything. You can't, outgun a 5-man team. And it's just more heads to pick. So getting them 2 early kills meant a lot for them, as then Velocity were then at a defect and they didn't have that full team to, gun against a 5-man team.
Yeah, but I mean, we do see, .com are kind of sticking around a little bit of the same eco territory as Velocity Esports. Sea Dragon and Kit number 4 do have a lot of money, but Smoke Salmon, Typical Light, Mommy Llama DK, kind of still in that range where Velocity can definitely bring this back. They're not getting snowballed quite yet in the first half, but again, looks like they're up on the roof getting ready to push in. But this is an interesting start that we're seeing here, Phil. I mean, we're seeing Velocity 3 rounds down to this .com defense. Do you think things might change once the side switch?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a surprising start for a lot of the fans as well. I mean, then Velocity, the number 1 seed, having such a dominant season 12 and only 1 loss on their record, coming out against the number 6 seed here and being walked over so far. I mean, down 3-0 on an eco round here, probably about to go down 4-0 unless they can pop something off. I mean, they got a saving grace this round. Rand 6 does have a Cadillo, so I'd like to see him post up on the balcony and pop some long shots and hold off some rotates and get maybe some free kills and hopefully get some Vezins into the hands of his teammates. But this is still going to be a tough round.
So do you think they're going to push into Site B or they're going to push into Family Room? There's kind of 2 possible ways that they could go about this.
I don't know. I mean, they definitely they're looking like it's going to be a heavy hatch drop setup, so they could definitely pile into the B bomb site really quickly. But they could also kind of use that as a little audio cue fake and all rotate over to A. We'll see. It is going to be a quick play for the B bomb site as the hatch gets blown. It's a crossfire, absolutely brutal slaughterfest of bullets flying left and right. We got people in the connector, people over at Globe, and just like that, Zavdislav gonna go down. It's all Rand 6 now with that Cadillo in hand. The EMP got planted in the smoke. How did they plant that? What?
Yeah, Zavdislav held on for dear life there. It's now just down to Rand 6 as Smoke Salmon going for that defuse right now, looking to get it stuck, and Sea Dragon will find the kill onto Rand 6. It was an interesting strategy by Velocity, but ultimately I think it just did not succeed there, Fallen.
I mean, yeah, they all just kind of dropped in off that hatch and tried to get the plant off using, the people with barely any money or weapons. to just kind of be a huge distraction for them to then go and hold the hatch. But I think for a semi-finals match, it's sloppy play. It's not what you really want to be using. And it could have paid off, but at the same time, it's a high-risk strategy that you really do not want to be using in these kind of games. But, you know, it nearly paid off for them, so respect.
Yeah, I think it was genius. I actually think, yeah, like you said, that's a tough round for them to win. They went all in. There's two ways they could possibly win that strat. If the quick rush into B happens to catch some players with their pants down, they can overwhelm them that way. And then, like this scenario, they got the post-plant situation with Brand 6 with the Cadillo, the only one that bought a rifle, still on the roof, able to protect through the hatch. If he was able to string a couple of headshots together, and if they had made the mistake of sticking the plant, maybe they actually pulled that round out. I think it was a... And because they got the plant, they have enough money to still fully buy this round. So it was actually... It paid off really well. That extra money from getting the plant really comes into effect there.
It was a pretty big gamble there. Yeah, I think it worked kind of varying degrees, no matter, you know, if you have one person with a Cadillo against, you know, 5, it would still be difficult to pull that round, you know, no matter what. But we do see Sea Dragon rotating upstairs to the second floor, popping out that window, looking for a kill as Velocity, once again, getting ready to move into the garage. We see a drone moving out there. It looks like they might try that storage gym hatch that they tried before. It's definitely, you definitely see more breaches over towards the B site than you do the A site. Bar is pretty tricky to, you know, attack. You have to be very, very coordinated, and even then, there are times when that won't work. We see 2 minutes left on the clock. Velocity have you been using a lot of their time. They've played very passively, just waiting, not getting too aggressive. But dare I say, this has hurt them in a previous few rounds. We see they had to nerf you, getting that breaching foam on the storage wall into Gym. 1:45 left on the clock. There's plenty of time for Velocity right now, but Typical Light finding that kill on Fuse.
Yeah, this is the fight is on once again for the B bomb site here in the basement. No surprise there. Trades coming back and forth, and so far it's Velocity coming out on top. A Sea Dragon goes down, but just as I say that, a nice grenade from Mami Llama gonna catch. They had to nerf you, and we're looking at another 3v3. Surprise, surprise. I mean, the scoreboard shows 4-0, but these rounds, when these full buy rounds have been back and forth, and seems like they could have gone either way. Let's see if Velocity have what it takes to put this one over the ground. Zab to Flav, gonna find one before finally going down. We're into a 2v2 and into the end of this round.
Yes, Phil said 2 versus 2 here. It's just coming down to trades for both Velocity and .com right now. Smoked Salmon, Mami Llama DK just holding out in site B. Rand 6 has possession of that EMP. There's 50 seconds left on the clock as Void is tossed that EMP. Void can get it planted over in Gym. It's going to force Salmon and Llama to make a move here. 40 seconds left on the clock as Smoke Salmon goes, takes down Rand 6, and Void's kind of window of opportunity is really up now. I mean, because, you know, Void has to get that EMP planted. There's 30 seconds left on the clock right now as Mami Llama DK over behind the boxes. Void getting ready as Mami Llama will swing. Void drops. Mami Llama will be refragged by Smoked Salmon. And what a round is, .com picking up their 5th round in a row against Velocity Esports. Fallen, you know, what do you think Velocity needs to do to get at least a round in here on this offense?
I feel like they need to be a bit more aggressive. So far they're playing pretty passive, letting .com, you know, dig their heels in. And this is a surprise to everyone. It's, you know, going .com's way. Not many people expected that. And it's getting closer though. You know, Velocity, it was a 1v2 and it turned into a 1v1, but Void got taken out. But it's getting closer, you know. Originally the older rounds, it was going, you know, 4 players were still alive on the .com side. So maybe they're just trying to zone in now. You know, they're warmed up, they're getting, you know, the kills in now. So maybe they can come back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Phil, if you're in Velocity shoes, how would you bring this back?
I mean, it's one step at a time, right? You just got to completely forget about the scoreboard. Nobody should be focusing right now on the fact that it's 5-0. All your goal is to put one round on the board here going into the second half, and then every round that you can squeeze onto the board is a way to stifle the momentum, swing things in your favor. We get off to a quick start as Ran6 with a Cadillo finding an opening pick onto Sea Dragon. They're in the garage behind the van. So a nice start for them. They're on their way to hopefully putting their first round on the board and getting a little bit of confidence underneath them, and hopefully they can take that momentum and run with it.
Yeah, 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. Here comes the drone from Velocity. As Phil pointed out, big pick there from Ran6, taking out Sea Dragon very early into the round. That's a free Vezin for Velocity. They had to nerf you, is going to secure that. And a lot better for Velocity. They don't have to run a Taurus. This could shift momentum in favor of Velocity. It looks like they're getting ready to play more aggressively here. They do have foam down on that garage wall. Fuse tossing a frag into the back of Kitchen. That's going to collect that static field emitter. 2 minutes left on the clock right now as At the Slab will go down to Smoked Salmon, and a beautiful wall bang once again from .com. Fuse over in Laundry Hallway along with Void, who's over in Laundry. Here comes the breaching foam, and it looks like it might be that two-prong, one from Garage, the other from Laundry. There it is, the double breach, but typical Light and Smoked Salmon had anticipated this, and they're in the back of the Kitchen. Smoked Salmon finding that kill on Fuse. The EMP is dropped in Garage right now. They had to nerf you, looking to collect that. Not looking good so far for Velocity.
Nah, I mean, they look a little bit lost, don't they? I mean, Zab the Slav, really sloppy there for him to be standing in that wallbang lane. We've seen how much these guys love to wallbang. Void trying to find an opening pick. They need to get something going. Smoked Salmon is just doing work from inside the site. 3 kills in the round already, finding that headshot, and they nerf. He's going to swing out, find Void. He's on for the ace. Can Smoked Salmon wrap this up? Where is Ran6 with the Cadillo? He finds one. Smoked Salmon swings around the corner, and steal. I mean, that's an ace from Smoked Salmon right there. 5 kills, 1 round. I mean, what more could you want?
Was that really an ace? Oh my goodness. Wow. What an explosive round there from Smoked Salmon, dropping all 5 opponents on Velocity. And this first map, this is very, very interesting, because if we take a look at the matchup page once again, you know, we were going off of pure data before, but Hideout's the best map for Velocity. They've won 69% of their rounds there, and they played 125. .com is their worst map, 107 rounds played there on 40, and they've won 48% of their rounds. But I mean, Fallen, do you think maybe Velocity is going to put up a really, really good defense and tie up this first map? I mean, it could happen.
From playing with .com before, I know their attack is really good as well, but not playing ever with Velocity, maybe their defense is even better. It's, you know, to take for the clutch. So yeah, let's see what happens.
It's definitely going to come down to how they attack this first pistol round. If they can pick this up, I mean, we see a first half lockout here from .com. This is a great start for them. If they get in here and they find that success in this pistol round, they're going to walk away with the entire map here. Velocity needs to win this, Phil.
Yeah, back's already completely against the wall, and the pistol ever so important. I mean, this is probably the momentum is the highest in .com right now. Velocity have to win every single round, so this is going to have to be the start of a win streak for them. This makes it, in my opinion, the most important round. Obviously, every round is important because you can't lose a single one, but this one right here will set the tone. And finding the opening pick on a Smoked Salmon, he's really been leading the charge for .com, is really good for Velocity here in the defenses. They find Mami Llama as well. 4v3 already. It's an unorthodox start. They're coming in through the wine cellar side, taking control of Arcade now, and Fuse on a little bit of a lurking roam flank around the backside. But Kitten and Typical Light, the foam is going up. He's got a perfect timing for a backstab, but he finds Sea Dragon, and unfortunately, his position is going to get sold. He's not going to find a lot of value, but still, .com in a 3 versus 4, they're kind of stuck in this arcade room here.
Void picking up some damage, but .com is very fragmented right now. That frag could have spelled the end for them in this pistol round, but right now it's a 3 versus 3. .com very, very wounded right now, though. 1.5 minutes left on the clock. They've got the confidence over on .com. They think they can still push in on A here. It's going to be very, very tricky as Kitten number 4 can't pick up, another chunk of damage there. Typical Light can't take much damage either. Sea Dragon can can take a couple of shots, but ultimately, Velocity have definitely put in a lot of work here. We see Fuse, found that early pick over on the small stairs, then rotated around and caused a lot more damage as well. We see Typical Light rotating through the wine cellar. There's a minute left on the clock, so there's time for .com. They're right next to the site, but ultimately, things are, they're starting to run out of time here. Zav the Slav rotating upstairs. I mean, what is going to happen here?
This is what I'm saying. Oh, Rand 6 is going to find an opening kill. This is why people need to be buying those stims on pistol rounds. You need a dedicated stim buyer. Look at all these low health players that just can't heal up. Rand 6 is the only one on the server, still at full health, and he's holding down this A bomb site. Typical Light stuck, and it's Zav the Slab coming with the flank. Yes, he's going to find the kill there, and now it's just Typical Light outside the window with 13 points of health remaining, trying to make everything happen and seal the deal. But it looks like Velocity is going to find their first round here on Hideout.
It was a pretty good starting offensive round here for .com, but it didn't work out for them in the end. I think they just lost too many players in this push here. Velocity had so many different flank options, and they played those really well. Rand 6 finding the kill on Typical Light. He just didn't have enough health to play that. Although Fallen, this could be dangerous for .com now, as Velocity are going to have a very nice eco from this. If they pick up some Vezins, this could be a tough second half for .com.
Yeah, Velo with the money advantage now, they might bring it back. It would be absolute scenes if they do. So I am really hoping it happens. But they have an advantage, and there's no point in them trying to save it, because if they lose this round, then it's over for them. So they will fall by the Vezins, and hopefully try and get this round.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like, how important is investing in utility on defense to you? I think if they want to win this, they're going to have to buy, spend some money, buy some utility to slow down .com here.
Util means a lot. It can stop players, it can hold off pushes, it can even direct pushes. So there's been moments where a team would go for an A push, but there'd be loads of statics and things like that, so they switch on to B. So it can be great. It can also stop pushes through flanks and all that kind of stuff. So Util is very important to me.
100%. And here we go, starting off on round number 8. With a drone pushing into the bedroom right here. They had to nerf you over inside B, along with Rand 6 and Fuse. Typical Light dropping very, very early. Some frags are exchanged. Fuse is going to pick up a little bit of damage there, but Typical Light not getting damaged by that Velocity frag. Big eco round here from .com. It's all going to come down to picks as they push into bedroom. This is a very aggressive push from .com here.
Yeah, we're seeing a very different pacing from .com than we saw Velocity on their attacking round. Velocity taking a lot of time at the beginning of the round on the roof to kind of set up exactly how they want, and .com really bringing the pressure right out of the gate with control of bedroom already. But I really like the way Velocity is playing this. All 5 members playing strong. This is going to be a 1-for-1 trade as Fuse finds one. But they've got both of the Vezins tucked in between all the rest of the team, and they're all tucked in on the sites. No roamers, so there's maximum potential to put those Vezins to use. And in the off chance that one of them dies, they should be able to recover those with another teammate.
And here comes Void 6 on the roam through the family room balcony, tossing a frag in. Almost caught Typical Light there, but decided to rotate back over to Site A, the bathroom there. And look at this. It's a numbers advantage for .com, but as Phil pointed out, Velocity did an excellent job of tucking those Vezin players back into the site. Minute and a half left on the clock. .com are going to need to start picking up the pace here on this push. Pit number 4 currently has that EMP is Smoke Salmon finding Rand 6. That's one Vezin down. There's the other Vezin down. It's now just down to Void. And this is big. A Sea Dragon finds the double kill. And there you have it. .com winning map 1. And that was, to be quite honest with you, very unexpected, Fallen.
Yeah, I couldn't find my thing there. Yeah, wow. I have no clue what just happened. .com got in there, took out the 2 Vezins, and cleaned it up, mopped the floor, and that's the game over. We got into the next round. We go.
Yeah, it was just a crazy game there. .com played so well on that defensive half, and then yeah, as Fallen pointed out, they're strong on attack too. So Phil, you know, are you surprised by that first map?
I mean, yeah, that is not the round I expected the game to end on. We saw that Velocity had a couple of Vezins in hand. You know, they had that advantage we were talking about, and they were playing it well, 5 tight on site. And it seemed like .com, it looked like it was a fast rush right away. But as soon as they got bathroom control and they blew open the bedroom control, and they blew open the bedroom wall, they just kind of sat there and left Velocity in that awkward position, trying to hold down the site when they had pressure. They had backhaul control and bedroom control, so it was like Sea Dragon with a Vezin in metal trying to look towards the right side, but they knew exactly where he was. So the ping, I saw the ping right on his feet, and somebody came around the corner with a Cyclone and pre-fired him. That's one Vezin down. The other Vezin trying to fight his way out and maintain control of the bomb site. They just got overwhelmed. I don't know, .com just methodically picked them apart straight up while they were all locked down in the connector trying to hold that bomb site. It was very impressive.
Yeah, Vezins are definitely very big threats, but I've seen plenty of occasions where, you know, having that Vezin is not a guaranteed win. And a matter of fact, in a lot of these matches that we've seen in the quarterfinals, it's definitely been the eco rounds that have been, you know, a very, very surprising amount of momentum for these teams. We've seen quite a few of them over in the NA side have led to, you know, a team has, you know, found that success that they needed. Next map is going to be Skyscraper. Unsure if the teams are going to have a timeout in between maps, but currently .com starting off on the defense of Skyscraper again. Before we get into some predictions here, let's take a look at the match. No, you know what? Never mind. We're not going to do that. We're going to get started immediately and head to Skyscraper. And here we are back on Skyscraper, and we have .com once again starting off in the defensive position here on this map. And I mean, Fallen, do you think it's going to come down to another 6-0 defense here?
Yeah, I personally think it's going to be another .com clinic. You know, Velocity just don't seem like they're in a winning mentality, and it's just not looking great for them.
Yeah, it's definitely hurt their performance here. I mean, Phil, your thoughts? I mean, it can obviously turn around, but what are you thinking going into this map?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big test to the mental right there. I mean, being that .com was, I guess, technically the underdogs as well, not including how they've been playing. It seems like they've been really on a roll for all of the playoffs. Not to lose that badly, and also to lose on a round where you have the gun advantage. It's not super crazy having 2 Vezins versus mostly pistols, but it can do a number on your mental, so it's going to be a test for Velocity to just hold it together. And, you know, the thing is, they just need to string a couple of rounds together, find the momentum. As soon as the team believes that they can win, anything is possible. They've got a lot of talent just sitting there on this team, ready to pop off at any moment. So we'll see what happens. Should be a good map.
And the second map is definitely sometimes a catalyst for teams to lock in here. We see Smoke Salmon picking up a kill on Ran 6. Kit number 4 refragged by Zavdaslav. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock as Sea Dragon on the flank finding that kill on Fuse. It's now a 3 versus 4. EMP is down over in Bathroom. And Velocity, they had a pretty strong start, but right now they're looking in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the timing of Zavdaslav poking through that window, but that flank from Smoke Sam was too good as Zavdaslav finds another one, brings it to a 2 versus 3 here, but they had to nerf you, stuck in that bathroom, not able to find anything. Zav goes for the vault in, and Smoke Salmon says, "Welcome to my house. I've got some ammunition waiting for you." And now it's just, I had to nerf you. They had to nerf you in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, it's not, as Phil pointed out, 1 versus 3. I love the welcome to my house there. But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting start from Velocity. Again, Zavdaslav finding a lot of picks there, finding those 2 picks in that window. Definitely putting in the work. They had to nerf you, does get the heal off. I mean, at this point, is it best to push this 1v3 and see if you can get it, or do you think it's, oh my goodness, they had to nerf you looking the wrong way. Smoked Salmon finding that kill, giving Velocity their first round. So, I mean, Fallen, let me ask you, at the end of that, do you think it would have been better for Velocity to save there and at least keep the Spectral and the Breaching Foam, or do you think, they should have pushed it?
Yes, I would have saved there. There's a healing syringe there too, which is a big fundamental.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have saved any day of the week.
How about you, Phil?
Yeah, savings there. I mean, normally on pistol, I would say go for it. A 1v3 is definitely possible. But when you got the healing syringe, the upgraded pistol, you're gonna want this round, and they had a breaching foam as well. It's just a lot of future utility that you'd rather have on a gun round that you can win. Bring it into round number 2 and try to make something happen. But it could go either way. Like, you're only saving a pistol, so I don't think there's any problem in pushing. It's like a 50-50 split. If you're feeling it, go for it. If not, saving is fine.
Absolutely, and Fallen, what do you think the big advantage here on Skyscraper is for .com?
It's definitely just defense in general on Skyscraper. It's a lot easier than attack to hold down. I feel like .com have just got the upper hand in that. So, do just look like the better team today. So, I don't know. It
could turn around, but we do have 2 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock, right at the start of a fresh round. Plenty of time for Velocity to try some new things here. You see 4 of them heading into the north stairs right now. 2.5 minutes left on the clock as they are on fire. They're starting off. Looks like they might full send into management. They had to nerf you already in the sight of Sea Dragon, finding the kill on Zav the Slab. They had to nerf you swinging on Mommy Llama DKs. Here comes more Velocity players, but Sea Dragon with that Vezin finds another kill. The EMP has been dropped. Void picks up Typical Light as Fuse looking to get that EMP planted, but this is going to be a tough defense from Velocity to go down 3 as kid number 4 finding the kill on Fuse. Sea Dragon putting in a lot of work with that Vezin there. Sorry, Phil, we weren't able to get you in on commentary that round. It went so fast.
No, it was a quick round. I mean, Fallen, do you like? I feel like in EU I see this a lot more on that second pistol save round versus Vezins. People like to just full throw everything you have at one of the bomb sites with a quick rush. Is that a common theme?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times, but no, I wouldn't call it incredibly common. It just kind of seems like they're. It just kind of seems like they're throwing it away. What do you think, Fallen?
Yeah, it seems sloppy. It's definitely not what I would use in this situation, but if it's what they want to go for, it may work. But so far, it hasn't. So.
It just, it kind of seems like they're giving up early on these rounds, Phil, and they're not trying to find those picks. They're just kind of full sending it and seeing if they can make something stick.
I was afraid you'd say that. Yeah, it seems like maybe the mental game is still struggling from that last 7-1, and it's tough to shake off, And I think that's your basic kind of pickup game scrimmage type of mentality. If you're not really trying hard, just screw it. It's a pistol save against guns. Just full send it, but it becomes really predictable in these playoff matches. You gotta take it to another level here. But we'll see what they got for this round. It's the first bye round going into round number 3. Once again, slowing things down to typical Velocity pace. Keep the enemy sweating. Send the drone in first, and we'll see if they can put another round on the board here.
Sites are going to be storage and green room. But yeah, I mean, to add to that, Phil, I feel like when we saw .com attacking that same typical light finding the drone, when we saw .com in that same kind of situation where they were on an eco round against the round 2 Vezins of Velocity, Zav the Slab picking up the early kill there on Sea Dragon. I mean, they definitely went for it. They picked up an Omen, and they really tried to attack that round as a team, and it worked out for them in the end there. They had to nerf finding Mommy Llama DK as this .com defense is definitely caught off guard, but Typical Light refragging Zav the Slab, going for a second on Void through that wall, picking up some damage there as Fuse will take out Smoked Salmon. Things are falling apart as kit number 4 finding the refrag on Fuse. It's now a 2 versus 3. And .com have lost quite a few players early.
Yeah, Velocity really need to make this round stick. They had a 4v2 at one point, unfortunately losing Fuse there, but this is a big numbers advantage. They really need to put this one on the board, give themselves a little momentum, take the first gun round here of the night. The only round they've won so far was the pistol on the last map. So They take this, they get the 1 round win under their feet. That's a round on attack on Skyscraper. That's huge. They can work with that, you know? And there's the pick onto Typical Light, leaving just Kitten by themselves in the green room. They are rotated over here. They're going to find one onto Void and a second onto Rand. Now it's a 1 versus 1. They had to nerf use. Is working on a slow flank, but it's not going to be there in time. He's going to go for the EMP plan. I like this switch. And Kitten, number 4, now going to have to play the retake.
A minute in the hands of .com as they have to nerf you. Will swing out and find that kill on Kitten number 4. And it looked like it might have been a clutch there from .com. But .com losing that round. This is a big win for Velocity, Fallen.
Yeah, they've finally pulled a round back in attack, and this might be the start of, you know, more rounds to come. Hopefully it goes that way, and hopefully they can bring it back for their sakes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Phil, what are your thoughts here?
The name of the game is to string rounds together, right? Getting the 1 round is huge. Now you've got a slight advantage. You've got still 5 Vezins strong and plenty of extra util. And .com is on the back foot, so they only have 3 Vezins right here. So if you need to take that round win and turn it into 2 round wins right here, right now, and that's going to put the momentum in your favor because, I mean, .com should be able to fold by next round for the most part. It's not over that point, but 2 rounds on attack on the Skyscraper is just huge, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, you know, this could be bad for .com if they were banking, gambling on, you know, having that perfect defense to lead into an offense where they can pick up, you know, at least a round. This is going to lower their chances. I mean, they can go 5-1 still, but the fact that Velocity has picked up, you know, a round here could be, it could really come into effect later on. But we'll see. I think best case scenario for Velocity right now is to at least find another round. Like Phil said, string those rounds together. Make sure you have that, you know, that eco heading into the next round. If they can get more of an advantage, more momentum over .com, they may be able to make this work. We see a breach into the podcast room. There goes the door blocker as Kit number 4 hanging in the back of Mixing right now, just looking for a pick. And they're getting ready to swing there. 2 minutes 15 left on the clock, and Velocity is on the move.
All right, they're slowly trickling their way into this radio room. They had to nerf use, got the foam on the wall. This is what I'd like to see them pop that wall and pressure into this A bomb site quickly so they don't have to worry for so long about the backstab in the hallway. Just kind of get in, get a couple of kills, get the EMP planted. We got 3 members strong here for .com to defend as the wall does get blown open. Bullets flying back and forth. It's going to be Void coming out on top. Smoke Salmon, the first one to fall. But look at this. Mommy Llama swings out with a Spectral and finds the kill on They Had to Nerf You, who was just caught with his pants down.
Yeah, and it's a 4 versus 4 right now. 3 Vezins against 4 Vezins. But Void and Zav the Slav kind of stuck back in that, you know, setup in the podcast room. There's a minute 20 left on the clock right now. Fuse will find Kit number 4. These are good picks for Velocity as Fuse with the double kill. Sea Dragon tossing that heal over to Mommy Lami will go down to Rand 6 as Fuse finds a 3rd. And Velocity have brought in that 2nd round. And we're starting to see Velocity bringing this back together as a team, Fallen.
It looks like they've decided they want to win now. You know, no issues, no mistakes from them. They are doing really well these attack rounds now. That kind of downfall is gone away now. It's completely out of their heads because they have tied it up 2-2, and we are going to round 5 now.
Yeah, it's important to remember too, Phil, that, I mean, if they, you know, if they can either tie or win this map, they'll be bringing this to a 3rd map where they have the potential, you know, to win there. So, I mean, Velocity is definitely not out of this by any means necessary.
No, not at all, especially not with us seeing them string those 2 rounds together. I mean, this is the confidence that they needed to get under their feet. You know, any team can bring back any match and win it as long as they believe that they can do it, right? And I think Velocity, after getting those couple of rounds, are now starting to believe. So you're going to see them play with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more decisiveness. And if they can take that and keep it rolling, we're in for a bit of a matchup. .com might actually have to step up and to give them a chance and to stop this from going to a map 3 decider, because I'm sure .com still wants to close it in 2 and not let Velocity get that momentum, because if they win this map, they'll have the momentum going into the decider. But we're going once again back into this slow velocity paced start, taking their time. All 5 members still on the roof, just sending a drone in to kind of poke and prod. And it's a save round here from .com, by the way. So this is a very good chance that they're going to be actually taking their first lead of the series and going up 3-2 here.
And if they do go up 3-2, well, .com is going to have a lot of work to put in here on the defense. Here comes the breach through Site B, the B2 lounge, as we see a smoke tossed way in the back. They're trying to block off .com's perspective. They had to nerf you with a very, very nice frag on kit number 4. 2 minutes on the clock right now. .com has found a lot of early momentum in the series. The velocity quickly bringing it back, and what a beautiful smoke there by this team as Fuse will pick up another kill on Mommy Llama DK, and Fuse has been putting in the work this match. We see a frag actually getting caught in the rafters. I've never seen that happen before. We see Sea Dragon taking out Ran 6 with the hero buy there. This is going to be big for .com. Smoke Salmon picking up Void, as Zaptislav actually down on 1 health. Fuse finding Typical Light as it's a 2 versus 3. Big opportunity for Velocity to take the lead in this match. Fuse finding Smoke Salmon as it's now just down to Sea Dragon.
It is so doable here in the 1 versus 3. Zabdislav does finally manage to get that stim and heal up, but they had to nerf you. Stuck on 1 point of health. Both of those heals are now on cooldown. I say that he finds a 3rd stim on the ground, so they're all healing. This seems like it's slowly slipping away, but Zabdislav makes the mistake of peeking out before the heal gets off. So now we got a 1 versus 2. Sea Dragon just needs to find this first pick. A nice little jiggle there from They Had to Nerf You with the camo. He knows one enemy's position. He needs to find Fuse, and it's not going to matter as They Had to Nerf. He's going to swing out, finds the headshot, and it's 3-2 after a scary round, which maybe that hero Vezin probably shouldn't have done that much work for .com.
Yeah, I mean, they got quite a few Velocity players, which, I mean, again, you know, it's an eco round, and they did do a fair amount of damage there, but I mean, you know, Fallen, you know, what do you think? What are your predictions for the rest of this? Because this is the lead from Velocity. They are able to, you know, full buy once again, but this time .com, they're able to pull out some Vezins as well. So what are your thoughts here?
I feel like .com will bring it back with the full buys now. They've got all their Vezins, and I feel like that will be their upkeeping to bring them back up to the, you know, lead. But Velocity do have a chance to keep it if they keep playing the way they are, and that's a simple, you know, way to put it.
Absolutely. I mean, Phil, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a different Velocity that we're seeing. You know, I have to agree with Fallen that they were looking a little bit sloppy on Hideout and even a little bit coming into this map, but it's starting to tighten up, and if they can keep that momentum going on defense, they're going to be feeling really good going into a 3rd map. So .com, you know, I think they need to win this round to kind of stop the momentum before this match starts slipping away from them. Even if we do go to a map 3 decider, they need to keep it close and not let Velocity win out this map. You know, if they win 7-2 here, that's going to be a statement victory, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it's also important to note that none of these rounds have been a complete blowout by Velocity. They've all been very, very close. You know, so .com can definitely bring this back. They've got Vezins now. Here comes a great frag tossed into the back of the podcast, but just a little bit too far. Will only damage Fuse. Mommy Llama DK getting caught there by They Had to Nerf You. Very nice kill from Velocity as we see an incendiary toss. They Had to Nerf You, finding a 2nd on Sea Dragon. But kid number 4 with the collateral on both Void and Fuse. It's a 3 versus 3, and .com are tying this up.
Absolutely brilliant from kitten number 4, finding the timing. You know, the Incin was really stopping anyone from swinging the hole in the wall. He manages to find the lineup onto both Fuse and Void there. Quick little double kill. Doesn't quite spot Zabdislav coming out of the smoke there, but it's a 2 versus 3 as a nice nade from Zad is going to net them a kill. But Kitten and Typical Light are both here to defend, and we can see on the cams that all 3 members of Velocity are still trying to pressure this A bomb site. So it's gonna come down to who's hitting their shots right here. This is anybody's round still. Kitten just holding down that hole in the wall, and Typical Light jiggling from behind the monitors, but he's gonna get caught out. Then pressure from the nade, forcing him to reposition. It's all down to Kitten, who finds the first, looking for the 2nd, but no. Velocity take the half 4-2, and for an attack inside on Skyscraper, that's pretty good.
Absolutely. I think it's very dangerous right now for .com. Now, Fallen, you said they've had a good offense, and we saw this in the previous map over on Hideout. But, I mean, do you think .com can bring this back? They're down 2, and they're heading into their offensive half. It could be bad for them.
Skyscraper is a very defensive map, so it's going to be difficult for them to do it. But if they can, get the straps together, do the right things, pull off the right things, and they should have it if they keep doing that. But if they can stay on that defense, kick their heels in, and it could go either way.
Absolutely, Phil. Do you think .com can bring it back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just saw Velocity managing to pull some off. The crazy thing about this scoreline is that .com actually won the pistol on defense. They won the pistol. They got the second round for free, and then it was the 4 remaining rounds. They won Velocity won the first gun round. They were able to win the force buy round following that up, and that put them in the economic advantage, allowing them to take the half 4-2. And .com could do something similar by simply just winning the pistol. You win the pistol, you string 2 rounds together there, you're already tied up 4-4. At that point, it's just scrapping together the last few rounds to seal it off. So we'll see if they can get off to the start they need here on this ever important pistol round.
Fuse upstairs on what could be a brilliant roam. They had to nerf you. Find Smoke Salmon very early as Fuse getting ready to peek there. Catching both Mommy Llama and Kid number 4 off guard. Will find 1 and 2. A great double kill from Fuse there. Oh, this is not good for .com at all. It's a 5 versus 2 very early. We're not even a minute into the round right now, Phil.
Yeah, brilliant play. I love his repositioning afterwards as well. You get your 2 kills and then don't overstay your welcome. You know what I mean? And it's a 5, like you said, 2 versus 5. Just fall back, play the trades with your team. Don't give any of these players the 1v1s that they're gonna isolate. They got 2 minutes on the clock. We just talked about how important of a round this is for .com to win in order to have a chance, which means Velocity wins. They're pretty much sealing out the map, but a nice swing from Typical Light actually catches Fuse unprepared on the back of the head. That's a free kill right there, but a little bit of damage done onto Sea Dragon. So this is still tough to get back into this round.
The EMP is down over in the lobby right now, 1.5 minutes on the clock. This has been a rough round, but they were able to pick up the kill on Fuse, and I think what we're seeing here is that big defender advantage Fallen. I mean, if they have that roamer, they can put in a lot of damage on the team.
Yeah, roamers are quite essential when it comes down to big games like this. If you can get a roamer to catch, a team or a duo or whatever, by surprise, it will be devastating. Especially from that position where he was sitting on the high ground with, a fence to block him, and he caught out the 2 .com players.
Absolutely. We see Typical Light over in the office hallway right now. 40 seconds left on the clock. It's a 2 versus 4 on the pistol round. This could be a bad start for .com if they can't put in at least a little bit more damage onto Velocity. Zavdislav, ran 6, and they had to nerf you all over in the office's Site A at the moment. 20 seconds left on the clock. Sea Dragon and Typical have to make some kind of a move here. They can't play for picks anymore. We see Rand 6. Oh my goodness, and Typical Light is just surrounded there by a mob of Velocity plays. And it's now just down to Sea Dragon. Looks like Sea Dragon might eco and at least keep the Spectral, Phil.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan was there. Typical Light just kind of waltzed into sight by himself. Last 20 seconds of the round, and there's 4 kills to find there. I mean, he had a revolver in his hand. He could have brought that in to the next round. But, I mean, we're seeing Velocity go up 5-2 now, and that's huge. It's looking like a big win from them going into a map 3 decider.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, Fallen, we're seeing Velocity build up a lot more of a lead now. It's 5-2. Do you think they can bring it home on this defense here?
I'm sure that they will bring it to the end to make it maybe 7-2, 7. They are, dominating on the defense. The roams are perfect, and it's just going all well for them. So hopefully that stays.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we've seen a great first and second half from them, as Phil pointed out. It was only those first 2 rounds on the defense that .com found that success, but they've lost a lot of pace here. It's very different from the team that we saw on Hideout. I wonder if we'll see any more from .com here. I mean, they do still have some rounds. If they lose this, though, Velocity has guaranteed that we're going to be going to a 3rd map. And if it does get to that 3rd map, and it ends up with, Velocity winning, at that point, it will go down to rounds. I mean, well, Velocity could win this, and then if they win the 3rd map, then they'd win the whole thing. But if this somehow ends in a tie, or if the 3rd map ends in a tie, it'll calculate down to rounds. And we've seen Team Wicked over in the NA actually won their match against Infinity by that same way. We see Fuse over in Green Room right now. I think .com has to be very careful of these flankers, because Fuse is kind of in the same area that they were before, and this could be devastating once again to .com if they're not careful.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I think .com is going to be ready, but Fuse might still find the time. And the problem with him playing an off angle like this is the timing, and he is going to actually find the kill on a Mami Llama, but it wasn't due to Mami Llama being unsuspected. They were ready. They looked both ways before crossing the street, and they surrounded him. Look at the beautiful coordination there from .com. They called out where the roam was. The 2 remaining team members on the other side, and Sea Dragon and Smoke, wrapped around the bomb site and trapped him in the green room. So they actually were able to equalize that kill. Now we got a 4 versus 4. And it's going to come down to how effective Zavdaslav is going to be with that Vezin holding down the sites.
Yes, Phil pointed out, Zavdaslav running that round to Vezin. We see .com, kid number 4, picking up another kill as typical light, getting into a bit of a gunfight there with Void, who swings out looking for a kill. Sea Dragon putting up some suppressive fire, but catching some damage there from Void. Kid number 4 looking for another kill. Void is caught by typical light. It's now just down to Zav the Slav. He finds one with the Vezin, and there's also Rand 6 as well. Zav picking up a second. But will go down to Smoke Salmon, and Sea Dragon finds Rand 6. And there you have it. .com picking up a round here and a Vezin. And this, I mean, do you think this could change the tide of this game, Fallen?
It's hard to tell, really. They've got the guns, they've got the power now. They are, they've won the round. That's got to be a lovely morale boost from, losing a few in a row. Possibly they could bring it back, possibly not. It's not really, on the cards right now. We're just waiting to see what happens.
I think this is big for them, Phil. I mean, they picked up that Vezin from Zavdaslav again on an Eco round where they're putting in that work. And this, I don't know. I mean, they picked up the Vezin. They get a lot of extra money. Do you think they can do it?
Yes, I absolutely think they can do it, but I'm mixed feelings about it, right? On the one hand, you got to take into consideration Velocity only bought the 1 Vezin. That's a bit of a conservative second round buy. We are seeing a little bit of slop. I have a theory, actually. Because they had such a dominant season, 12-1, it seems like not a lot of teams were forcing them to play tight and coordinate. They were able to just run around kind of dominating for most of the season. And now they're getting to the playoffs where .com is coming into form, and it's putting them through their paces. There's a little bit of like holes in their armor that they got to tighten up a little bit. But it's definitely possible. That is a huge momentum swing, losing a second round after winning the pistol, giving up the Vezin. But they still only need 2 rounds, and they're on defensive side scraper. So it's still an uphill battle that .com has a lot of work to do before they get full control of this one.
And Fuse is caught. I found that very interesting that Fuse was not roaming far away from the site that time. It felt like Fuse was putting in a lot of work that way, but Void getting damage there. It's a beautiful crossfire from .com, but kid number 4 is out of that exchange with just 1 health left. But it is still a 5 versus 4. Velocity have lost Fuse very, very early. And Zavdaslav is only running a Jesper right now. Now, you know what I'm seeing, Phil? I'm not seeing too much utility here from Velocity. It doesn't look like they bought much else other than their Vezins.
And they did have the money to spare. I mean, yeah, when you lose the second round after winning pistol, it does kind of take away that extra money that you have. And I'm with you. I think they had some money to spare. Maybe need to think a little bit more about utility. Like I said, their season was so easy. All they had to do is run around shooting people. Now they gotta step it up a notch and start taking advantage of all that sweet defensive utility. But 4 versus 5, still not completely undoable here for Velocity to stop this momentum for .com before it gets started.
And look at this kid, number 4, getting the health back. Found a healing syringe somewhere, and was able to get the health. As Smoked Salmon will take out Void, and it's now a 2 versus 5 as Mommy Llama DK will find the kill on Ran 6. And it's now just, again, a 2 versus 5 down to Ran 6 and Zab the Slav. Ran 6, however, finding Sea Dragon. EMP's been planted, and all that's left for .com right now is not to play too aggressive, but typical light walking right into Zab the Slav there. What a bizarre kill, as it's just down to Ran 6.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay from Zab the Slav. Having that Jesper, you wanted to play in a position where you can kind of support your teammates and at the very least pick up one of their guns if they die. Being stuck trying to flank with a Jesper there, I think he was just hoping to get lucky. I mean, you kind of had everything in your favor where he's running into you, unexpecting you, but the Jesper versus the Vezin fight is so difficult to win. You got to get 3 headshots in before he spikes even 1. So difficult situation there, to say the least. But you know, this is right. I mean, this is a gun. The momentum is building here for .com. You're starting to feel them believe that maybe they can bring this win back and just shut this series down in 2 maps right here.
Yeah, I mean, a win here makes this a 5-4. Another win from .com would tie it up, and then we're talking, yeah, as Phil mentioned, about this potentially going to, you know, .com wrapping up the second map here, Fallen.
Well, yeah, it's definitely unexpected. They're bringing it back 5-4 now. They were 2 down. It's 2 rounds in a row that they've come back with now. So they are answering back to Velocity. They've got used to that roam. Fuse, he hasn't caught out anybody recently. So, you know, they might be able to bring it back.
100%. And I mean, yeah, we do see a lot of eco coming in here from .com. They got a lot of money to play around with, buying the Vezins, buying that utility that they need. Velocity are picking up some utility as well. They're not able to buy 5 Vezins, but Fuse is going to be running that Spectral. I don't know, Phil, do you think maybe they need to keep up the roaming there? Because Fuse has found quite a few kills roaming and kind of picking apart that .com offense. And I think, if they get to that point where they need to, pick apart that defense or that offense, I think, if they all stick together on the sites, they can't really do that.
Well, it's a little bit of a curveball. If you remember the round before last, Fuse actually got caught out. I mean, they found 1 kill on the roam, and then when they tried to escape, the strategy for .com was based off of trapping Fuse on his roaming, ironically, right where he's roaming right now, over by the green room side, opposite side of the top floor. And so I think he was just, let me play back in sight on the gun round, not risk allowing them to kind of surround me and trap me in an unfavorable position on a round that they really wanted to win. You could tell. So I think it's fine throwing the curveball in here with a Spectral in hand, trying to roam, I think is another potential mistake. It's a debatable mistake, because if you happen to find a free kill onto someone and you get to pick up an enemy Vezin, it works out great. But chances that you take away any chance you have of picking up your teammates' Vezins if they die by being so far away. So I don't know.
Yeah, this could be some rough positioning for Fuse here. Okay, rotating back down the lower north stairs. But it looks like Fuse was potentially about to walk right into the the push from .com, which wouldn't have ended too well. But it looks like Fuse is going to go up through lower south, and if .com aren't watching that flank, this could be very, very dangerous for them right now. But we do have Sea Dragon on upper south right now. Here comes Fuse on the roam. Sea Dragon heading over into server, but the EMP, look at this, is already planted. Here comes Fuse up through the roam. Smoked Salmon dropping Void. Zab the Slav takes out Smoked Salmon. Fuse finding typical light, and there's the damage there. But Mommy Llama DK, Kid number 4, and Sea Dragon are all grouped up together, and the EMP has been planted in a side favorable for .com. Mommy Llama DK finding the kill on Fuse. It's a 2 versus 3 right now. Zab the Slav will swing out. Mommy Llama DK finding that kill, and it's just down to Ran 6.
Yeah, so unfortunate there. Fuse managed to get a kill and stringing together both of the kills in the hallway. He almost got out to get that gun as Ran6 finds the first headshot to make this 1v3 happen. The EMP is planted though. Less than 25 seconds ticking down on that clock. He's gonna have to swing out to try to find these 2 kills, and Mami Llama's coming out on top of that one. And we're tied up 5-5. It's almost like it's an attacker-sided map right now.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. That, you know, .com are making this map, Skyscraper, look attacker-sided, and Velocity kind of did the same thing. But yeah, it's definitely very, very interesting, you know, watching that push there, and ultimately, I think .com's pace really, really helped them out there, Fallen.
Yeah, it looks like they are bringing it back. Morale's probably through the roof with a 3-round win now, you know, 3 rounds in a row. They have the advantage on money, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, it just looks like a whole new turn of tables. It's been switched. It's all different. And they're tied up 5-5, so anything could happen. Any team could take it. So,
I mean, Phil, at this point, it kind of seems like we're watching a vice versa, or I guess the same thing that happened to .com happening to Velocity, where they find the early momentum on the pistol round on the defense, but it just seems like the rest of the half is pretty rough for these teams.
Yeah, yeah, it's a weird situation we're running into. You know, things are happening kind of backwards to what you would expect. I don't know. Maybe I think we might be seeing a little bit of reverse psychology from the mental. Like the fact that they won the first map .com so convincingly. Maybe they kind of came into the second map with their foot off of the gas pedal, but they're firmly stepping on the gas pedal here now. 3 rounds in a row, like Fallen said here. Smoked Salmon also finding an opening pick there onto They Had to Nerf You. A bit of a save round here from Velocity, so we might see .com actually be the first ones to find a map point here on Skyscraper if things continue the way they're going.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but yeah, to your point, Phil, this is a big bet from Velocity. This is going to come down to round 12 here. If .com can win this, they'll have guaranteed match point, and the only chance for Velocity is to tie it up on this map. They've been pushed out of offices right now, but it looks like they're setting up for a retake. Ran6 moving through the bathrooms hallway, finding a bit of damage onto Sea Dragon, but there's a minute 50 left on the clock, and Typical Light cutting off that rotation as Zad, the Slab, Fuse, and Void are kind of trapped, but Fuse will find kid number 4. Fuse on the roam. If Fuse can secure that Vezin, no, it won't happen. Smoke Salmon will find 1, finds 2, finds 3, a triple kill as .com securing match point on map 2.
Brilliant stuff there from .com. Fallen, I want to get your prediction here. Velocity are on their back foot. They've bet everything that they can win this final round and tie things up and bring us to a map 3 decider. Do you think they're going to swing this round, or do you think we go to a third map? Or do you think they're going to end it right?
I think .com have it personally. .com, they've got their, you know, their river technique. It's all going well for them. 4 rounds in a row now to bring it back up to 6 and 5. I think .com have this in the bag if they can just secure this last round.
What about you, Bob? What's your prediction here?
This is, yeah, it's going to be a tough round for Velocity because, I mean, .com have won so many rounds back to back here in this, you know, offensive half that they've got plenty of money. They can buy all the business they need. They can buy all the util that they need. And Velocity, I mean, they're scraping, Phil. We see they only have 1 health syringe right now. They're you know, they got a frag, but this is gonna be a close round. But I don't know. I think .com has found so much pace here. It's what it's gonna come down to, I think, is Fuse, because if Fuse can find those early picks again, it could swing in .com's favor, but the drone is missed Fuse, but Fuse shot too early, and Mami Llama TK dropping Fuse. If Fuse had just waited a little bit later, I think they may have actually found that kill, but here's a beautiful frag tossed by .com. Zad the Slab responding with one of their own. That's going to tag Typical Light a little bit, but starting off, this is looking good for .com.
Yeah, that was a huge opening pick, and my prediction was going to go to whoever got the first kill is likely to win this round, and so far it's .com, and it's an important kill it was. They got Fuse, the top frag roamer for this Velocity defense, and the drone is still firing their way strong. They had to nerf you, was going to even things up, bring them back down to 4v4. And the nice thing about that kill being on the roam is that they didn't lose any map control. Velocity still have full control of this big screen room. And as I say that, Mami Llama pops one of the windows, adding a little bit of pressure. That's going to give his teammates inside a little bit of breathing room, forcing these players to reposition back into the A bomb site.
Yeah, upper lounge is now off limits as Mami Llama DK is in that window right now. Beautiful droning from .com, by the way, was really just creating a bunch of problems for They Had to Nerf You and Void. I don't know if you noticed that. Minute and a half left on the clock. It's a 4 versus 4, but this is pretty good positioning from Velocity, I would say. Although, if they do end up losing the upper lounge, I don't know, it looks like .com is trying to outposition them right now. A minute 20 left on the clock, and it's a flank around through the green room, but Zavislav ready for it, finding the kill on Sea Dragon. Smoke Salmon looks to catch, but Zavislav will be able to get back into storage in just enough time. There's a minute left on the clock. It's all coming down to this. It's a 3 versus 4. Velocity has the numbers advantage. They Had to Nerf You finds kit number 4. We could go to a third map here. There's 50 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, things were looking a little bit scary when Ran6 almost got caught out from them rotating around that lounge side. But the fact that he was positioned so far up ended up netting them the information, and Ran6 does go down, and it's a charge from Smoke Salmon. He finds 1 and 2 and goes for the third, bringing this down to a very doable 1v2 as Mami Llama finds the first kill. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Zavislav swings out, and it's going to be Mami finding the headshot. That is .com closing the series out 2-0.
Apologies if I've deafened everybody with my scream there, but that was, can you believe what we've seen? And we've got Mami Llama DK doing the Macarena in the green room right now. Is that just, that's just unbelievable, Fallen. We've seen the #1 seed for EU is out of this tournament.
Breaches never surprises me, but that has shocked me. That was a 2v4? Yeah,
it was a 2v4.
Smoke Salmon, outwitting Ran when he had the high ground and the place to hide, running round the corner, getting the person sitting in the corner, and then Mini Llama just comes in and finishes the job. Just, wow. I have not seen something like that.
It was just incredible. Phil, what are you thinking right now here?
I'm shocked as well. It really felt like Velocity had it, and they were bringing us to a third map decider in the bag. The 4 versus 2, even after the first kill came out, and then what was it? The first player that wasn't Mami Llama that died. I think it was Smoke Salmon or Sea Dragon. One of them comes out, finds 2 kills, but they get traded. So 2 versus 1 still seemed very doable. Just a massive clutch there to shut things down. It was going to be tough. Even if Velocity won that round and tied, it would have had to. It was going to go to round decider, and they lost the first map 7-1, which means they would have had to have won the third map at least 7-1 in order for us to go to our backup tiebreaker. So they were still in for an uphill battle, even if they won that round. But man, I thought they had it.
Yeah, just the. I think it's. I tend to agree with your theory there, Phil, where it kind of felt like, .com was just they were prepared in kind of every facet. They had the gun skill, which there's no doubt that Velocity also had it, but they worked really well as a team, and they had those kind of technical elements that they needed. Whereas it seemed kind of like Velocity, as you mentioned, it seemed like they lost some of that momentum. They've had a lot of those easier games where it's come down to gun skill, and ultimately, I think another big problem that they had is they took eco rounds, and they just kind of rushed in on that offense, and it really kind of fell apart for them. But that is going to do it for us over here at the VRML, and what a surprise this is that we're at we've seen the #1 EU seed leave the bracket right now. Let's take a look at this right here. So Velocity Esports and .com are, the Velocity is now out. That means .com is going to the grand finals. Velocity Esports taking that third place match. Now, later today, we've got Blaze EU and Cheeky Breachy playing. That's going to happen in just a few hours from now. It's going to be hosted by Nightfire. And it will
Real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, real quick, while we got you guys here, everybody popping off in the chat, I want to give you guys a shout out. And if you guys were entertained by that matchup, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It's a free way for you to help out the channel on the algorithm. Just because I know we're going to be signing off real quick. And if you got any closing notes before Bob sends us away.
I mean, thank you all for coming out. This has been a absolute banger of a match. And you know what? Just thank you for having us, and it's been great. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, happening later today is Blaze EU versus Cheeky Breachy. That's hosted by Nightfire and Filibust and Finto. Phil, you're joining that one as well. And then we'll see you again later for North America. And I'll be there for North America as well for both of those matches. But wow, what a shock. Again, that's going to be Blaze EU versus Cheeky Breachy coming up. And of course, I want to give a big thank you to my co-casters here, Filibust and Fallen. Of course, Fallen, this is your second casted match, and you've done a great job. So big thank you for joining us. And of course, Phil, thank you for joining us so early in the morning over here in North America. It's very early for us, but it's a great way to start off the morning with just an absolute shocker of an EU semi-final match. That's going to do it for us over at the VRML, but we will be back. So stay tuned, and you'll find these other matches happening here in the same place, so make sure you check those out as well. Until then, I'm Gibbular Bob. These have been my co-casters, Filibust and Fallen. We'll see you all later. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you back here.
VRML is brought to you by Helga, the Esports Manager, Triangle Factory, HyperX, Protube VR, VRCOVER. Thanks for watching VRML.